I don't know, man. I don't even know where to begin on this topic. I mean, right now, where I'm at right now,
Talk to me,
where my mind is right now, I'm very upset because people get upset when I say cracker ass cracker.
Okay.
Because nobody listens to nuance anymore, and I can explain this till I'm blue in the face. There's good white people, period. Like there's just good-natured human beings that have white skin.
Right.
But racist, bigoted, prejudiced people like we saw in Charlottesville, West Virginia, those are what we call white devils. Not West Virginia. In Virginia, those are what we call white devils. Those are what we call crack-ass crackers.
Sure.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
And guess what? If you don't want to be labeled a crack-ass cracker or a white devil, then don't do crack-ass cracker or white devil shit. And I hate how people are like, you shouldn't call them that. You know, why are we being politically correct with the scum of the earth? I don't get it.
You make a great argument. I guess what people, I'm sure you've probably heard this argument a bunch of times, which is like, would you be okay if non-black people called the scum of the earth black people the N-word?
It depends.
So you'd be okay?
Listen, I know for me,
I wouldn't be okay with that.
Me personally,
I don't use that word regardless.
I've said all the time, niggas gonna nig, right?
That's why I've defended you in saying this. I go, when anybody's brought this up to me, because people have hit me up, they're like, yo, what he's doing is you know, hypocritical, it's fucked up. And I go, he's actually keeping the same energy because you've always called black people who didn't approve of their behavior the N-word. I use
the N-word in context. All right? I don't use it as a term of endearment with my people. When I say I don't talk the N-words after 5 p.m., hey, and I say N-words of all colors, but it is what it is.
I appreciate people with principles. And I feel in this argument, you're principled. I wouldn't use that word, and I wouldn't say it because I don't want to attribute behavior to a skin color. I want to attribute behavior to choices.
But here's the thing. I understand what you're saying, but the N-word, the word nigga, is a word that is used by any white racist to demean a black person.
Sure. Or any racist in general to demean a black
you got to earn the title cracker ass cracker. You got to earn that white devil. Like I didn't grow up just looking at random white people and be like, oh, look at that cracker. Whenever I would even hear my father or my uncles or anybody use that term, it was because a white person was exhibiting some bigoted behavior.
So a black person, the best black person can be an N-word. To some people.
Exactly. Will Smith, Oprah.
Right.
Neil deGrasse Tyson. Neil deGrasse Tyson. I forget if he's black sometimes. He's amazing. He's amazing. I was reading about him the other day. Amazing.
So I get what you're saying. Like the best black person
could be an N-word to the lowest common denominator, poor white racist.
And you feel to be a cracker, you have to be a bad white person.
Absolutely.
Are there like people who just hate white people and they call all white people crackers?
I'm sure there are. And that's wrong. That's generalizing. That's why I keep making a difference. And that's why
That's very, I like, this is, go.
Yeah,
I don't want to cut you off.
That's why on Monday, I had white people, good white people, call the Breakfast Club. I said, if you're a good white person, if you're a non-racist white person, call up the Breakfast Club right now and denounce white devils. And condemn crack-ass crackers. And they were calling up doing it. They had no problem doing it because they understood the difference. They're happy that, yes, please, don't lump me in with them. We have to make the distinction. The reason we have to make the distinction, because when you say things like this, right? White nationalists. Where's the separation? What's the separation between Richard Spencer and you when you just say white nationalists?
Of course.
If I say white supremacy, what's the separation between Chris and, David Duke? It's just white. There's no separation. You're just saying white nationalists, white supremacy. Now, do all white people benefit from white supremacy? Of course they do. That's why it is up to white people to stand up and denounce it. Because we didn't create this mess. Your ancestors did. So it's up to y'all to clean it up.
Well, a couple things on that. One, you said use your white privilege to combat
prejudice.
White supremacy.
No, prejudice, yeah.
Okay. I would say use your proximity, not privilege. White supremacy is white people's issue. It's on us.
Absolutely.
You're not in the white communities. Well, now you are because you're rich, but you're not. You know what I'm saying? But like, you're not in the white community. You know what I'm saying? Off the phone. You're not in off the phone. You're not in the white. You're not in the community, right?
Gotcha.
I'm actually not really in the community, but there are white communities that see this shit bubbling up, And it's on white people to handle it. That's our issue.
You got to denounce it.
Exactly.
If you're a white person in the neighborhood,
right,
and you see a white guy put up a Confederate flag,
sure,
and you know it's black families in the neighborhood, Spanish families, Asian,
sure,
whatever, you should be like, you should really take that down, man. That's not what I want our neighborhood to represent.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, that goes into a separate issue on like private property. I mean, I think the Confederate flag is detestable. I want to get to that eventually. But if you know that there's a terror cell of white supremacists in your neighborhood, notify motherfuckers. Yes. Snitch. Tell the police. Tell people what's going on here, because no good can come from that. And here's furthermore to white people who like to say, hey, Muslims, why don't you make sure you talk about the terrorists in your community? Tell us what's going on. This is your community. Why don't you handle it? Black people, why don't you handle black on black crime and do that kind of shit? Well, it's at your doorstep now, white people.
You goddamn right.
So what you gonna do?
Hey, vanilla ISIS is running rampant. Vanilla ISIS must be destroyed.
I didn't understand it until I heard it. When I saw it written, I didn't know it was a play on Vanilla Ice.
Vanilla ISIS.
But Vanilla ISIS makes perfect sense.
Vanilla ISIS has to be dismantled and destroyed.
Real shit. It's our issue, and we have to be accountable. We ask other people to be accountable constantly. Yes. It's our issue. We have to be accountable for. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't be calling it out. We should all be calling it out.
Can we let the record show? Because we're big on credit here on the Big
Yeah.
We've been saying this for a couple years now.
Yeah.
I've been saying white people have to use their privilege to combat prejudice. Yeah. Now all of a sudden, Lady Gaga wants to ask questions. What can non-racist white people do? It's great. That's why I answered her yesterday. I didn't like when I reposted her, people were like, oh, shut the fuck up, blah, blah, this and that. No, ask questions.
Don't be upset at ignorance if you're not willing to answer the questions.
I don't think people realize how clueless some people are. Like, that's just the truth to the matter.
You want to know something real? And we had interesting conversations this week. And they say this in court all the time, the hardest person to defend is someone who's innocent. Because they don't remember what they were doing when they weren't killing somebody.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the same thing.
Where were you on Monday at 3 o'clock? Like, I don't know.
Like, the motherfucker who did it knows exactly where he was.
He's lying.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? He got his whole day detail. So for a white person who doesn't identify as racist at all, thinks it's preposterous, myself included, there's this part of me, honestly, that goes, I gotta say I'm not racist? What do you mean? Of course, that's preposterous. I'm not fucking racist.
You have to.
What we don't realize as white people is that there is suspicion of possible racism to people who have dealt with racism in their life.
That's why they would call you a suspected white supremacist.
And on some real shit, it's no different than like white people thinking a black person is more threatening because he's black. Mm-hmm. And you've even told me on certain times when you walk in a room, you make sure people are comfortable.
That's what we have to do as black men.
As black men. So you make sure people are comfortable, and Wax, I'm sure, does the exact same thing. I didn't realize until this week, it's like, no, I got to make sure minorities are comfortable. That is my threatening thing.
I wrote about it in my book, Black Privilege. Did I not? Because I wrote about that. I wrote about working with white people, and I told white people how black people think. We all just, a little bit of us, it's like, he's probably racist. He could be racist, whatever. So white people have to go out of their way to overcompensate for 400 years of motherfucking oppression.
Of course.
That's the truth to the matter.
Yeah. But you do understand how someone who doesn't identify as racist at all can be like, wait, why do I have to explain myself?
Totally get it.
I don't have any prejudice feelings towards black people.
I totally understand.
But now I'm also understanding the fact, I'm now also understanding how important it is to speak out about it, and how meaningful it is to hear from minorities that there are white people speaking out against it.
Bro, this has been the best week because I'm hearing white people denouncing white supremacy. I'm hearing white people say enough is enough. Think about how many years we've said white people act like they don't know this is going on.
Yeah.
Or they try to, see, the thing with the police officers, like with the unarmed killing of black men, that's still a little bit more nuanced, because it's still a police thing. Like the way black people look at police and the way white people look at police are totally different.
Right.
Black people already look at police like they're the enemy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
White people see police and they really feel like, they're here to protect and serve.
Absolutely.
Right? So when those happen, like some white people are really like, I don't know. Police officers just don't kill people, do they? Maybe something happened, or maybe he panicked. Like they think of to us, like, no, this motherfucker's just racist. He looks at black life lesser than he does white people. So it's like that's how you have that situation was a little bit more nuanced. But this is low hanging fruit, bro.
Absolutely, easy.
Like this,
light work.
Charlottesville, West Virginia is a fucking layup.
Yeah.
You know how when you see those little Nerf basketball goals and you just run and dunk it because you know you can hang from the rim. Like this is what this is.
Yeah.
How can you fuck this up?
Well, that's the craziest thing about this for Trump is Trump fucked this up. Let's take away the fact that he's clearly colluding with white supremacists and clearly colluding with these racists. Let's take away the fact that
he is a white supremacist.
Oh, he is a white supremacist. Absolutely.
He has to be.
Absolutely. Okay, but let's remove from that. Let's talk strictly as a politician who's looking out for their best political interests. For a politician, Nazis having a rally is a golden nugget. Everybody hates Nazis. This is a layup. This is a dunk. This is the alley-oop, right?
Yeah.
You get to unify the country.
Easily.
Get to bring both parties together. You get to lock up the 2018 midterms. You get to possibly lock up 2020 by showing strong leadership against anti-American sentiment, which is Nazism, and anti-racist and anti-inequality sentiment, right? This is the easiest thing. Honestly, on some fucked up shit, politicians dream of this stuff. So they can come in there on their white horse and save the fucking day. This guy managed to fuck it up.
No, listen. Not only did Donald Trump fuck it up once, Donald Trump fucked it up
twice.
3 times. No. 3 times.
Oh, first one.
First, it was the, whatever.
Both sides are wrong.
I hate, but
it's not Jesus and Mero.
Yeah, exactly.
We got to hear both sides.
We got to hear both sides on this one. Then the second one is the clearly scripted, yes, I denounced the KKK and whatever. And then yesterday was the freestyle. Okay, that was the sway 5 fingers of death. You know what I'm saying? Like it
was a tiger freestyle. Yeah, that's what it was.
The written was on Monday. The written was like, that's shaky. He went in there yesterday and freestyled, and he fucking you know what? We got to get him the fuck up out of here. That was my mindset because morally, you can't have somebody like that in the White House.
Explain some of the things that he was saying for anybody who hasn't heard the press conference.
I mean, let me see. Yesterday during the press conference, he said that
he basically came out and said both parties were wrong.
He said both parties were wrong. He said,
and he likened the Nazis to the.
He asked one of the ladies to define what alt right is. What is alt right? What is alt right? Of course, she couldn't define it. You know what I'm saying? So he goes, well, what about the alt-left that attacked them and made them defend themselves? And I'm like, really? And he said that there's good people on both sides.
Right.
No, man. Like, if you're watching this video and you see a bunch of white guys carrying torches and they're saying Jews will not replace us, blacks will not replace us, gays will not replace us, what's good about that?
Yeah, first of all, I think it's hilarious to point out that they're using tiki torches, which are Hawaiian lighting systems to showcase white supremacy. Get a fucking lantern.
Get a
candle like Paul Revere.
Come on,
Don't use some Asian shit to showcase how great white people are.
Y'all don't even look menacing. Y'all went into Home Depot, bought those fucking tiki torches, and nobody even thought twice about it. It's they're having a
party.
They're having a luau. These white guys are having a luau, crazy college
kids. Where'd you guys
kids.
get the pig from?
Yeah, exactly. Nobody even thought nothing of it.
Well, this is to what you've said before. I think you have to be mentally retarded, at least on some level, to be racist. And you've brought this up before. And there are several instances to showcase mental retardation. One, the idea of calling yourself a white nationalist.
Yes.
There's nothing nationalist about these people, right? They're supporting Nazis, doing the Hail Hitler salute and wearing swastikas.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, Germany fought against this nation. How can you be a nationalist if you're supporting people who tried to destroy us, right? You're there to protest a Robert E. Lee statue that's being taken down. Robert E. Lee, the general for the Confederate Army, a country and army that fought against this nation, right? How can you even say you care about this nation and the values that we have in your title if you're supporting all the people who've tried to destroy it?
Because they don't care about the nation. They care about the ideals
of course
that Robert E. Lee had.
Of course.
Like, that's what they care about. They care about the fact that Robert E. Lee felt like a supremacist. Like, he had slaves. Like, he felt like they were the better,
I actually don't think Robert E. Lee had slaves.
He didn't have slaves?
I don't think he had slaves, but...
Come on, man. Back then, having a slave was like having an iPhone, bro.
No, back then... that's the crazy thing about slavery. Back then, only 3 to 5% of Americans had slaves. Slaves are incredibly expensive. Yeah, they were.
That sounds fucked up.
They were. It was like a mortgage.
That sounds crazy.
You would have mortgages on slaves. That's how expensive... Yeah, it was very expensive. But that being said, he fought for those ideals, which is the most fucked up thing about the statue. First of all, we got to get rid of all these Confederate statues.
Yes, because do you know in Germany, Like it's illegal. Like it's actually against the law to have a statue of a fucking Nazi. There's no schools named after Hitler. There's no highways named after Hitler. I'm serious. I'm from South Carolina. We got Strom Thurmond buildings. We got Strom Thurmond highways and shit. None of that shit is in Germany. They're not having that shit. You can't do it. Why isn't America the same way? When Trump said that shit yesterday, when he was like, so where does it stop? What's next? You're going to get rid of Jefferson? You're going to get rid of Washington?
Yeah.
Bro, that's what museums are for. Put that, it's history. It is American history. You cannot deny it. But put that shit up. Well, put that shit in the museums and let's move forward.
Well, let's talk about that. Those perfect examples right there. Washington and Jefferson don't have a statue because of their contribution to slavery. Washington and Jefferson have statues because of their contribution to American history. The only reason Robert E. Lee has a statue is because he tried to endure the legacy of slavery. That's it.
But like Trump said, Washington had slaves, Jefferson had slaves.
But no. But my point is, Robert E. Lee has a statue because he fought for the South, the Confederacy, to continue the right to have slaves. His legacy is tied with slavery. Not to mention, he's a traitor. Every one of those Confederate soldiers, every one of those Confederate generals, every one of those Confederate politicians are traitors. They fought against the United States of America. It's like having an Osama bin Laden statue.
You made a brilliant point yesterday when you was like, why would you give the losers statues?
Oh, yeah, and they're losers. We don't give losers statues.
Don't get statues.
Unless you care about their values. Unless you care about their beliefs, right? And that's all these people are doing. You support Robert E. Lee's values and beliefs. A statue of Robert E. Lee is basically saying on government land that you support slavery.
Absolutely.
So get him the fuck out the paint.
Listen, man.
He did have slaves, by the way. I'm researching.
Are you sure about that? My understanding was that he didn't.
He grew up poor, and it looks like at a certain point, a family member, maybe a family that he married into, somebody died, and he basically inherited the plantation, and he was in charge of running the plantation for a couple of years. And he didn't want to do it. He was like more of a military guy, so he tried.
Yeah, he went to West Point. He went to West Point with all the northern generals.
He did run a plantation.
He got clowned back in the day for having secondhand slaves. You got hand-me-down help.
You don't even got your own.
Yeah, you got hand-me-down help. Like, I wonder if you got clowned for that.
I don't know.
It really bugs me out that we're being so politically correct with racist, prejudiced bigots. Like, if we were talking about pedophiles, you wouldn't give a shit what I called them. If we were talking about fucking transphobic, homophobic people, you wouldn't give a shit what I called them.
Right.
But when it comes to race, it's like, no, don't call them crackers.
Yeah. Well, I think
I just want to know, how else can we separate them? How else can we separate between good white people and these cracker white devils without saying it that harshly? Because white nationalists don't do it. White supremacists don't do it. Alt-right don't do it.
Yeah.
Like, it got to be a clear distinction.
I think what we need to do is call them exactly what they are, right? Which is, we can call, if you want to call them cracker-ass crackers, that's fine. I think that leads into more what the David Dukes and Richard Spencers of the world want. But I understand your consistency, so I respect that. I think you call them racist. I think you call them Nazis. I think you call them white supremacists. I think you call them whatever, hate mongers, terrorists.
Vanilla ISIS.
Call them all that shit, right? I think we do that. What I'm concerned about is when the umbrella grows, when we start to call them Republicans. Because not all Republicans.
That's not fair, dude. That's not fair, though. That's what I mean.
Exactly.
But maybe it is.
No.
No, it's not.
Chris, and here's the thing, and here's let me explain why. Let me explain why.
Listen.
Chris, let me just get all right, you say it, then I'll respond to that.
Trump is just showing us what he's always showed us. This was known about him prior to the election.
That is a fact.
I mean, the fact that his father, who was his hero, his mentor, the guy he grew up learning under and worshiping, was arrested at a KKK rally. Yeah. And think about it. Think about how active in the Klan you must be to be arrested in 1924.
Oh man, you're a hell of a.
He's going extra.
Yeah, you wildin',
He's going
bro.
extra. think about the white cops in New York City. They don't even want
New York.
They don't even want to.
It's like getting arrested for prostitution in Vegas.
Right.
How many hookers you fucking?
How hard?
You went gay with it. I went straight with it.
I'm just saying, like, how hard did his dad have to be going to get arrested
in 1924?
In 1924,
in New York at a KKK.
His dad was KKK with a capital KKK. Yeah, right. So I'm like, this is not like something that's just emerged, and half the country, almost half the country that voted for him has the right to be shocked now.
He would not denounce the KKK's endorsement last year.
prior to the election.
He would not denounce David Duke's endorsement.
He hired Steve Bannon and brought him into his inner circle. These guys are known white nationalists. This is not like some big reveal.
So
it's just so much in front of our face. So I'm saying, yeah, if you voted for Trump, this is what it was. You knew what you were voting for.
There is a responsibility.
The entire party is indicted right now.
Sure. No.
Sorry.
No, Chris.
How?
Chris, no.
How?
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why you're being.
It's just as easy. It's just as obvious as what Chris is saying. Like, it was Republicans who were against him when he was running.
Yes.
And now it's
not many.
And now it's people that are speaking out, like Mark Rubio, straight up. You got to denounce whites. No, they were being very direct. Mark Rubio was very, very direct. He said you have to denounce white supremacy. There's no room for neo-Nazis in our country. Like, it's people.
Hey, look, all I know is my father was a Republican for many, many years.
Yeah,
he walked away from the party.
Great. So that's
what you do, guys.
Here's the thing.
That's true.
You walk away.
Got you. Let me just say this. We have to be very careful we don't fall for the white supremacist trap, which is what you're falling for right now. White supremacists want anti-white sentiment. That's how they recruit. They need this, right? They want the war against white people because that's what they do. The same way that ISIS wants Islamophobia. ISIS wants people to say what you're saying about Republicans, about Muslims. After a terror attack, basic people go, well, all Muslims are fucked up. We need to get all Muslims out of here. And then ISIS goes, you see how they treat us Muslims?
Right.
Hey, you see how, why don't you come talk to us for a little bit? What are you doing Saturday? Hey, just come by the mosque, talk to us because you're ostracized in society and nobody cares about you, no one respects you. We're going to respect you. So my point is we call these hateful, racist, Nazi pieces of shit exactly what they are. White devils. But once we start umbrelling that thing out to Republican, once we start umbrelling that thing out to NRA, once we start umbrelling that thing out to all the groups that we didn't like prior, right? All we're doing is ostracizing white people and pushing them towards the alt-right, which is what David Duke wants.
All right,
what Richard Spencer
Republicans, we don't want to paint you with this overreaching umbrella. So guess what? Get him out the paint.
Yeah, no,
you
and
control
they are doing that.
No,
they are
get
doing
him
that
all the way out.
Keep it 100.
All the way out.
Republicans made sure that healthcare bill didn't get passed.
Barely.
But they did, Chris.
Okay,
he was throwing shots at John McCain for that yesterday. Remember during the press conference, like, who? John McCain, who voted against the healthcare bill? No, let's be clear. John McCain, who voted against the healthcare bill?
The Republicans can get him out if they really want to get him out. I don't know what else he has to do.
I mean, they got to nail him on something. I mean,
my point is this: you need white people to end white supremacy.
Yes, they made this mess. They got to clean it up.
Exactly. But if we ostracize white people and alienate them from this fight, then they're not going to clean it up.
Once again,
bring them into the fold.
That's why I keep saying good white people, non-racist white people,
facts.
White people who aren't prejudiced, white people who aren't bigots. Stand up and denounce those white devils, condemn those crack-ass crackers. New York Daily News on the front page of the paper, the headline was sympathy for devils. Throw the white in there. What the fuck y'all tippy-toeing for? Put sympathy for white devils. Yeah. Why the fuck we playing?
I'm cool with it.
And put the writer of that article on the front page, a nice white guy smiling.
Sure.
Saying, yes, this is what we are.
Sure.
We're not them. He's showing sympathy for those white devils.
Sure.
Boom. Let's get it popping. Why are we playing?
Dude, I'm absolutely with you. And remember what I was saying about proximity? Mm-hmm. Use your proximity. Liberal, democratic white people don't have the proximity to these hate people. They don't have the proximity to white devils. They don't have the proximity to these racists. You know who does? The conservative NRA members that live in that neighborhood that has a cul-de-sac of white terrorists. Yeah. They have the proximity. We can't alienate them from this fight, Chris. We got to bring them in. We got to get, they're fucking up your party. They're making you look like a racist. Box them out the paint.
There's a lot of white people right now who didn't even realize they were living next to racists. Straight up. They didn't realize it. I guarantee you that they fucking... It just dawned on them like, yo, this motherfucker's really racist.
Yeah.
They know.
No. Telling people, it's a reflection
I got these guys, again, I have these guys in my family. I know.
Yeah, because you know other things, right?
I know
everything is relative. It's like we talk about this all the time on the show. You don't know you're poor if everyone around you's poor. You don't know you're racist if everyone around you is racist. You've left. You live in Brooklyn. You're married an Asian woman, have mixed kids. You understand what racism is.
And I understood it before I did that.
So some people don't.
Okay.
All I'm saying is let's not alienate the white people from the fight against white supremacy because we need them.
That's fair.
We need them to help fucking play. And we need to expose these cornball fucking these white supremacists like
that's what bothers me too, man. The fact that These guys came out there, no mask on. They're not trying to cover their faces. They went right back to work on Monday, bro. They went right back.
Some of them got fired. Some of them did.
They went right back to their school, right back to schools on Monday. Like how? Like how could you just come out?
That's the comfort level that Trump's giving them.
That's on Trump.
But that's kind of stupid to me because you don't know if your boss is gay. You don't know if your boss is Jewish. You don't know if your boss is black. You got to go to school with black people. You got to go to school with gay people. You got to go to school with Jewish people. You got to work with Jewish people, gay people. You're making your own life hell.
Yeah.
Because motherfuckers aren't afraid. Like, let's be clear. Ain't nobody afraid of none of these crack-ass crackers.
Well, here's the thing. Did you guys watch that Vice piece?
Yes, I did.
So there was about 19 minutes in when she goes back to the hotel room with the guy who was one of the leaders of the protest. He starts pulling out all the guns from the back of his shirt and his ankle holster and his AK-47s, and I was like, "This is the problem, man."
Yeah, but
these guys aren't going to keep coming to these rallies loaded like this,
and they're going to get shot. It's going to be a shootout.
They're going to shoot a lot of people too. That's the problem.
Well, we can't do that. We can't. I denounce violence on both sides, and there's two different things. There's constitutionality and morality. In my personal opinion, it is completely moral to punch a Nazi. I'm 100% supportive of it. I see a Nazi, I want to punch him. I see a racist dude, I want to knock that motherfucker out. Unfortunately, or you could argue fortunately, in America, that's unconstitutional. We have to allow freedom of speech. We have to allow freedom of assembly.
Do we have to, though?
I'll tell you why we have to. It's a choice between censorship and freedom. And in the extremes of both, freedom is always better.
I don't have a problem. I'm not going to ride with censorship. But freedom of assembly, no. If it's an assembly of hate, absolutely not. Because you know what it's going to cause. You're going to cost your town more money in the motherfucking long run. Because you got to get more manpower as far as police. It's going to be people that come out there to fucking be anti-protesters. Yeah. It's going to lead to fights. It's going to lead to violence. And it's going to lead to somebody getting killed, like that young woman, Heather, who got killed in Charlottesville, West Virginia. So don't let people assemble when you know it's about hate. Freedom of speech, cool. Talk all you want.
Yep.
Talk all you fucking want.
I'm 100%. I understand the sentiment of that. My concern with that is the repercussions.
Leave it up to the state.
I don't know. I kind of agree. I feel the best case scenario is...
My concern is this, is like, who starts to decide what is appropriate or what's not? Because,
that's right.
Like, one way to have this conversation, and again, we're all on the same page. We hate Nazis. We don't want them to say shit. We think they're fucking horrible. But what I don't want is a situation where we have freedom for the things that we all agree with and censorship for things that we don't.
But hate is different.
Because that's tyranny. That's what a dictator does.
Hate is different.
But even hate is subjective in a way.
This is the same, no, it's not. This is the same country that won't label the KKK as a terrorist organization.
That is wrong.
A known white supremacy group.
I understand what you're saying,
exactly.
too. I understand what you're saying,
why would you let them assemble?
Well,
why?
No, because
it's a slippery slope.
It's really not.
Look, we understand the most digestible sentiment is to say, don't let them come together, right? It pains me to even make an argument for them because I'm so vehemently disagree with what they stand for. But allowing freedom of speech is not for the things you agree with. It's for the things you don't.
Did you let ISIS get a permit? If it was a group of Americans who said they wanted to join ISIS, and they were like, we want to have a rally at such and such.
Making a great
Would
point.
you let fucking ISIS have a fucking rally?
You make an amazing point.
It makes no sense.
So here's the other argument. Here's some argument. Like what we're making the argument for is a preemptive strike, right? Right? We're going, let's make a preemptive strike against these Nazis, stop them before they can ever come together, stop them before they can ever coalesce, right? But then we got to keep it consistent because the same people saying we got to stop these Nazis before they come coalesce are not okay with us making a preemptive strike in Iraq for weapons of mass destruction or a preemptive strike in Vietnam for potential spread of communism.
Well, that's a false equivalency, man.
Why?
There were no weapons of mass destruction.
How do we know? How we know it's preemptive?
No, they found out it was. They knew there was no weapons of mass destruction.
You're talking about a domestic thing. Those are imperial wars.
Vietnam was communism. Trying to stop the spread of communism.
That wasn't about communism, man. That was about money. That was about corporations. Come on,
Chris. It absolutely was. So, listen, but the point I'm trying to make is, and I understand you're trying to drill this argument, but another perfect example we can use terrorism is Guantanamo Bay, right? Me personally, I am very unconstitutional in my thinking, where like if you're talking to a terrorist, like you said, if you have an ISIS meeting with a fucking terrorist, right to Guantanamo. Bye, Felicia. I don't want you fucking talking to nobody, do whatever. So I have to keep that same energy with Nazis. If you're talking to some Nazis or white supremacists, bye, see you later, get out the paint.
I don't know why we're negotiating with terrorists.
or allowing terrorists to assemble.
This is the funniest shit about this alt-right, white nationalism, white supremacy shit. You're not going to get what you want. What you want is slavery. Again, you want black people in chains again. You want Jewish people to be oppressed and marginalized. You want women to be in the fucking kitchen. You want gay people dead, probably. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna get what you want. So what is the point of all this?
This is the last stand.
Let me ask you this.
This is you're right.
Their last stand.
Isn't white supremacy, by that definition, an admission of white inferiority?
I mean,
think about it, right? Like
either that or it's just like, I mean, come on, man. Let's be clear. If you was ever ruler of everything, like, if you had everybody on your thumb, and your great grandparents are telling you how good it was, you would probably want that again. Power is very.
No, but I
don't mean it that way. I mean it like if you really thought that you were supreme, why are you so concerned about competing with other people? If you're Superman, if you really believe you're Superman, are you worried about a race with Usain Bolt? No, you're fucking Superman. You're supreme. If you're so good and you're so supreme, let everybody in, because that only proves how good and supreme you are. You think you're inferior. You don't think you can compete with these Chinese people coming to the country, with Muslims coming to the country, with blacks coming to the country. You don't think you have the confidence in yourself, so you're trying to box people out the paint so that you can be supreme when it's only you.
That's the crazy
thing. It's inferiority, this white supremacy shit.
That's the crazy thing about white supremacy, right? And salute to Mr. Todd. I just thought about this because I'm going to get a pie from Mr. Todd. This shit ain't pie, bro. Like, we're not fighting for equal slices. Just because I want my civil rights and my civil liberties and I want my equality, it doesn't take anything from you. Like, you're still going to be white. I'm still going to be black. We just all want to be treated equal. We just all want fair shots. Fair chances. May the best motherfucking man, may the best motherfucking woman win.
Meritocracy.
That's it.
Treat it like sports.
Shit ain't it's not difficult. Throw the ball in the motherfucking air and let's go.
This is what white
Make sure the officiating is fair and let's fucking go.
This is what white supremacists want. They want a world championship, but they're the only country invited.
It's stupid.
So you're not getting a world championship.
Word up.
You know what I mean? Let's have the Olympics for real.
Absolutely.
And I think, I don't know, me personally, I think that someone who truly believes in what they can provide and what they can in their ability thrives off competition. Like, you're somebody I use as an example of someone who's confident in their skills. You often say, I love the heat. Like, I like a little conflict because it makes me sharpen my fucking weapons.
I don't know how to live without it. So if some time goes by and I'm like, damn, ain't no friction? Why everybody smiling? Like, what's up, yo?
What you up to?
What's going on, yo? What the fuck? Why everybody? I don't want everybody agreeing with me. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? You know what I mean? Like, I like a little friction.
You want the competition.
That's how I know shit is moving. That's how I know things are changing. Like, diamonds don't become diamonds because it's just easy.
Pressure.
Pressure, motherfucker.
Give me the
pressure and heat.
You don't think LeBron is loving this shit?
Man.
LeBron in the gym every day.
That's why I like when I say crack ass cracker or white devil, people feel something. Like, man, don't call me that. That's exactly what I want you to feel. Because I don't want you to be that. And I want you to denounce that. That shit is scum of the earth. That shit is pitiful. That shit is terrible. Why the fuck are we negotiating with terrorists? Why are we fucking like coddling white supremacists and bigots? They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about you. So why do we care what we call them?
Because they're in the White House.
And to anybody who's considering joining this group, be very aware that Richard Spencer and David Dukes of the world and the John Kessler, who's the guy who organized it, they don't care about you all either. All they're doing is the path of least existence to political
resistance or existence?
No, least resistance.
Okay.
Basically what these guys are, they're all phonies, right? I got a picture on my phone. I'm going to go through 10,000 pictures to find it. But I remember we were thinking about having Richard Spencer on the podcast, and I wanted to bury him. So I did some real research. I went to his personal Facebook page, and I looked back years till he was in college. There's a picture of him campaigning for a black dude for like state or city council. Right?
Yeah.
This dude is a phony. John Kessler, the guy who organized this march, he voted for Obama, apparently. One of the times. Maybe it was the first time. I don't know the history of David Duke, but the point is all these guys are typical, couldn't make it in politics, couldn't have influence, weren't good enough. So they took a fringe movement and did some exaggerated bullshit to get to get credit and popularity. They're no different than like a rapper who starts beef because he can't make good music. They're Stitches. They're the fucking Stitches of the world. That's literally what they are. If you were good enough at politics, you would have made it already. Right. But no, you had to make some outlandish waves in this fringe culture to make enough to get enough attention to do it.
I wouldn't doubt if they weren't just doing this shit for attention.
That's all it is.
Well, they are.
They may not believe none of this shit.
They believe it, but like my cousin is in this movement. These guys.
What movement? Don't even call it. Why y'all call it a movement? It's not a fucking movement.
This world. I don't know how to describe it.
Terror cell.
Loser.
Vanilla Isis.
Loser.
Oh, dude, they're
the
dorks.
biggest loser in my family. Like, I'm sure
fuck you up now.
Fuck him. But listen, like
that Lyme disease ain't here now.
No, seriously, fuck him though. But these are the guys who couldn't get girls in high school, didn't have friends. This guy came to my wedding. I thought he was something. He followed me around the night before our wedding at the dinner, lovely dinner. All he wanted to do was talk about guns and M16s, and I was like, yo, what the fuck is the matter with this kid? Can't socialize, can't make friends, can't interact with people.
Yeah,
they have nowhere to go. And this is who will take them.
Couldn't you also be describing ISIS right now?
Absolutely.
Like, think about it. They're the same. I honestly feel no differently in terms of the strategy of gaining followers. ISIS and these white supremacist motherfuckers, they're exploiting weak-minded people who are frustrated in their life for their own personal political gain.
I can't get it together. Why can't I get together? Because I'm a loser? No. Because black people and gays and Jews are taking me.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's all it is.
Exactly. They're exploiting, dude.
When you look at these couple hundred guys who come out, part of me is almost like, don't protest them. Don't give them any light. Just ignore them because they are losers and they will go away. The problem is Bannon's not a loser.
Yeah.
Trump is not a loser.
Yes, they are.
They're losers, but they're...
You know what he's trying to say.
You know what I'm saying?
They're not dumb idiots.
So we need to shine a light on these guys because it reflects all the way back up to the White House. Stephen Miller, who I believe is Jewish, you know, like these guys are stoking this fire and it's going to get out of control. So
that was weird last night on that Vice special too, because one of those guys was like, I couldn't tell if he was with Trump or against him, because he was like, why would Trump be associating with so many Jewish people, and why would he let his daughter marry that fucking Jewish person?
Kushner.
Yeah, Jared Kushner.
He was disgusted.
Kushner's got to step up because Kushner is a super Jew. What's he going to do right now?
He's modern Orthodox.
What's he going to do right now? You going to let this go on?
Well, yeah, he's got to make sure. And Ivanka has to make sure too that they're not a crutch. That they don't become the. My
friends are Jewish.
I have a black friend.
I got a black friend.
Right. My daughter's a Jewish girl. My son-in-law's. How can I be a Nazi if my daughter's a Jewish girl? My son is Jewish. They have to make sure they're not being used as a pawn. And honestly, I think Trump is so sociopathic. He would use his own daughter.
Oh, it's already happened.
Yeah,
and those guys, in turn, are so sociopathic that they won't resign, because if Kushner had any morals,
he would have already been.
He would have been like, "Yo, you have this guy Bannon in here promoting this stuff, stoking this fire. I don't care you're my father-in-law. I don't care that I have access to tremendous power. I know what Nazis can do.
Yep.
My family was decimated by these guys.
Yep.
My family was wiped out by these guys. Yep. I'm out of here. He's sticking around. What's that tell you?
Listen, man.
Wow, I think self-loathing shit.
I like the conversation, but I just think we're doing too much. We're trying to understand them. Fuck them.
Yeah,
like, that's what it really all boils down to at the end of the day. Like, those are the people that we shouldn't care about their opinions, because all they're doing is they're fucking up the ecosystem for real. Like they're making shit bad for every fucking body. And that's why I go back to my original point is, when you say white nationalists, when you say white supremacists, when you say alt-right, how do I distinguish the difference between them and regular good white people?
Well, I think Michael Rappaport brought up a great point. He's like, stop letting them use these synonyms.
Stop using them fucking cute-ass names.
Don't let them be cute. No. Call them exactly what the fuck they are.
Exactly.
Nazis, white supremacists, crack-ass white devils.
White devils. Like, why are we romanticizing this shit? Like, why are we trying to make this shit sound cool?
And keep it real, yo. White people hate these people, too.
Yes.
There is no kinship that we have. White people have gone to war to fight these ideas. Mm-hmm. Hundreds of thousands, actually millions of white people have died to fight these ideas.
It's always been white supporters. It's always been good, decent white human beings.
Absolutely.
Like, and every moment in time.
Those white people win.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a reason why there's no more Nazi Germany. There's a reason why the Confederacy was squashed. You know what I'm saying?
The one thing we need right now more than ever is unity. I want y'all to all go watch that Vice special because, you know, I don't want anybody to think that this is a black and white thing because those Nazis, alt-right, white nationalists, white supremacists, white devils, crack-ass crackers, they don't like any marginalized oppressed group. They don't fuck with women. They don't fuck with gays. They don't fuck with blacks. They don't fuck with the brown. They don't even like you pouring disenfranchised white people and they pouring disenfranchised and white. Like the white supremacists, the big dogs, Steve Bannon and Donald Trump, you think they give a fuck about them little
Wouldn't cross the street to piss on you if you were on fire.
Get out of here, man.
Disgusted by you.
Come on, man. So if it makes you feel better.
If you think Trump is your buddy, try to go to one of his golf clubs.
Right.
See if he'll let you in.
You get that
with your white ass. Just say,
oh
yeah, I voted for Trump and I'm a white guy. Let's see if you get in.
Get out of here.
Off my porch or off my lawn or whatever the fuck that saying is.
So my whole thing is this. I feel like it's
so what do we do moving forward? What is
moving forward? I feel like every marginalized and oppressed group, along with our white allies, the good white people out here, we just got to unite. That's all it boils down to. It's good versus evil right now. It's not conservative versus liberal. It's not Republican versus Democrat. It's not left versus right. It's good versus evil. Right versus wrong. God versus Satan. And if you voted for Trump, just say you made a mistake.
Absolutely.
It's fine.
This is the
okay.
Thing. We're forgiving of people who make mistakes. We're capable of doing that. That's okay. Because I personally don't assume that you voted for Trump because he's a white supremacist or supports these white supremacist ideals, whatever. You could have voted for Trump because you really thought he was going to open up a coal mine. Absolutely. That's fine. Now you see what this has caused. Now you've seen that he's raised a comfort level amongst racists that they're willing to take the hoods off. That's got to scare you. And that's got to concern you, right? That's got to concern you.
It's too normalized.
Way too
Think about that. You know how normalized it has to be for they to say, fuck it, we're not putting our hoods on.
You know what it is? You ever
they put on the fucking khakis with the polos and the red Make America Great Again hat. We can see you.
They wore the Jake from State Farm outfit.
No, that was Donald Trump on the golf course outfit.
What is the Trump?
Yeah, that's
specific. That was specific.
Facts. So yeah, man, it's one of those things that you have to denounce.
You have to.
I understand, for any white people listening, I understand why you think that you don't have to because you're like, well, I already don't associate with this. You have to understand, denouncing it has value to not only yourself, but other people. They need to know that they have allies in this fight. It's very important.
And silence is a cosign.
Yep.
And it's bad enough that we don't even know who, like, it was a lot of, he said it from day one, a lot of sneaky Trump supporters. People don't want to admit. So now they really don't want to admit because they're either going to give up the fact that, you know what, I do agree with this shit. We do need to get our country back. Or, I fucked up. And I don't want to tell anybody that I fucked up because then they're going to be like, well, maybe you're a racist. Even if you admit you fucked up, they'll be looking at you like,
I will.
I don't trust him. Well, listen, man, that's the moral of the story. The moral of the story is I can just tell y'all that, man, I feel like, you know, all good white people, all non-racist white people, you know, you got to condemn these crack-ass crackers and denounce these white devils. You know, Jewish people, LGBT community, we're all in this together because that alt-right neo-Nazis, they don't like none of us either. They don't like none of us.
Right.
None.
Right.
So we gotta link up, man, and
impeach Trump.
And it's deeper than that now.
Well, because we haven't even talked. I mean, we've spent all this time talking about what happened in Charlottesville. We haven't even talked about North Korea.
North Korea. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, like the stakes have never been
this high. It is amazing to me. Donald Trump is the first person I've seen in a long time who actually lived up to his billing.
Right.
Like there's no hype. There's no hype.
And we're like, what, 6 months in?
We're not even 200 days.
Yeah.
Think about it. Everything we thought about Trump, everything they said, oh, he's going to get us all nuked. Oh, he's going to divide the country and cause a civil war. It's happening.
Fast.
Y'all really going to go through 3 more years of this shit?